This video is about using combination or elimination to solve systems of equations. So the first thing you're going to do is try to arrange your variables on top of each other. So you have x's and y's lined up, and then the equal sign's always lined up as well. The next thing you're going to do is make sure your signs are opposite for the term that's going to cancel out. Like in one equation, you might have a 3x, and below it you might have a 3x. To get those to cancel out, you're going to want to make sure that those signs are opposite. And we might want to multiply by -1 to do that. And then, just as we've done in substitution, you're going to substitute to find the value of the other variable. So the first example here, just taking a look at this system here, what we notice here is that the x's are all lined up, the y's are lined up, the equal signs are. And when we add these equations together in columns, so we're going to add the x terms first, we'll notice that the y terms are going to cancel out because we have a positive 5y and a negative 5y. So those cancel out, and we're left with 1x plus 4x in that column is 5x. And in the next column out here, 9 plus -14 is -5. So what happens is we're going to divide by 5 to get x by itself, and we get -1 for x. And now we've just have to find out what the value of y is. So what we'll do is plug it back into any of the original equations. So I'll take that first one, and we'll just plug it in here. So we're plugging -1 in for x. So that guy's going in right in there for that x. -1 plus 5y equals 9. We will add 1 to both sides. We get 5y equals 10. And dividing by 5 gives us y is actually 2. So our solution to this ordered pair is -1, 2. So that's combination or elimination when the terms cancel out pretty quickly and pretty easily. The next one we'll look at is one like this, where we have to actually figure out that once we add these together, if we try to add them together, what would happen is we would get 6x and -2y and 28, adding each column together. So 3x is 6x, -4 and 2 is -2, and 2 and 26 is 28. But we didn't really get anywhere. We didn't get any of the variables to cancel out. So what we have to do is do an extra little step here, where we would take one, either the top or the bottom equation, and multiply it, all the terms by -1. So what happens is it actually kind of distributing a negative to each of the terms inside. We get -3x, -2y, and -26. So now, that was in a very straight line. Now when we actually add them together in columns, we do get 3 plus -3 for the x terms there. The first column is 0x. And actually, I'm not even going to write that out actually. -4y and -2y, when we add those together, gives us -6y. And 2 plus -26 is -24. So you can see here that when we solve this, get y is 4. We can plug it back into an original equation. Oops, that's not right. 3x minus 4 times our y value, which we found out was 4. Quickly solve this here. Oops, not too quickly, I won't do it right. Just adding 16. We get 3x equals 18 and x equals 6. So our answer here is 6, 4 for the ordered pair. Last one is where we have to multiply terms together and get different numbers, because the numbers actually aren't the same. So in this example here, what we're going to do is figure out how we're going to get either the x's or y's to be the same number. So if we look at 3 and 8, multiples of 3 and 8, we can go 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. We're just going to ask yourself, how can we get these numbers to be the same? It's actually easier to get the 3 and the 6 to be the same, because we just have to multiply one of those numbers. If we can turn -3 into -6, we can go ahead and do that. So we're actually going to multiply this whole equation by 2, because that's going to turn our equation into, I'm going to write that first one down here, multiplying the whole thing by 2, we get 6x minus 6y equals 42. So again, that was just multiplying the top equation by 2, doubling all of the terms. We get 42 there. And then we're going to keep the bottom equation the same. So that blue one, or the one here I'll write in blue, same thing. 8x plus 6y equals negative 14. And you'll see here now that since we do have the right things to cancel out here, negative 6y and positive 6y, those will cancel out. We'll get 14x equals whatever this math is. I'm not going to continue solving it because you can continue to go on your own there, I think. But the key part is there multiplying by 2 to get the numbers to be the same to cancel out. See ya.